not simpler to play, but like, you know, it's a little bit less annoying on the rotation. Bone Storm now only consumes 5 Bone Shield charges, which means you're not getting as much CR or CDR on Bone Storm, but it only consumes 5 Bone Shield charges, so that's not too bad. Overall, it's like a relative nerf because Blood Decay is only getting a 10% buff. Meanwhile, other tanks like Demon Hunter is getting a 15% damage buff, and same with Bear Tank, Warrior. All those other classes are getting bigger buffs than
Jeg fikk
DK.
så mye
DK
myggstikk
relatively
bare av å
got
være
nerfed
ute i går, ass.
damage-wise.
Alright.
Then there's some
Fy
Odraki
faen.
stuff, Bellsguard,
Jo,
slight
hisser
nerf to
små
this
jævla
part,
mat.
but more single target damage and more damage allocated to Burning Blades. So a little bit more passive damage, a little bit less damage on Fellsguard's cooldowns. That's good. I like this change a lot. And then Druid of the Claw. Druid of the Claw got massive buffs. Huge buffs, actually insane. So Ruthless Aggression, I was playing the other talent, but I think I 100% play this afterwards. 35% increased attack speed, that means more Maul procs, well, Tooth and Claw procs, more Ravage procs. This is big. Killing Strikes, you're just getting 3% more agility, that's big. Strike for the Heart, that's like Mangle damage, Thrash damage, I believe. Some other things, I don't remember what else, like Swipe.
Nå holder
It's
han
gonna
på med
crit
den
more, do more
tierlisten,
crit
by the way.
damage. This part
Nice.
doesn't
Hvis
really
du var
matter,
gira
just,
på å
you
følge
know,
med
you
på
take
det i
this talent,
bakgrunnen.
turn on the mighty. Feral got a
Det.
bunch of
På
buffs.
Twitch,
Jeg
eller?
gjør i hvert fall.
Ravage got a
Ja.
35% damage buff to Prime.
Jeg kan like det. Petko. P-E-E-T-T-K.
Guys, do you think Hydrax is ever gonna do push keys?
Han tror jeg, utenom de jeg kjenner, så tror jeg han er den streameren jeg ser aller mest på.
Mm.
Han er bare så jævlig laidback. Det er behagelig å høre på han.
Mm.
As I can do more ST than Destro on single target? No, no chance. Not a single chance. Okay, let's just put it to like, I think it's 10, chat. I don't think anybody does that. Or maybe like, okay, let's do it 9.5. We can come back to that later. How fun is the playstyle to Destro? I mean, easy to play goes to like 4.5 easy to play. You guys don't like the playstyle? Why? Okay. Chat, what would be the playstyle if 1 is completely dogshit playstyle and 5 is like really cool? How would you guys describe the playstyle? Like fun factor. Fun factor. 2, 1, 1. Okay. You guys don't like it. Okay. Super boring. A Resident Sleeper. Rain of Fire spam on a single target's fucking sleeper. Yeah, I guess. I mean, most of you here agree. 1.5. Okay, fuck it, dude. 1.5 on us. We're getting it down, dude. Destro's been updated. Moving forward. BM Hunter. Ooh, BM Hunter got some huge nerfs. I think like I spoke to Azer, he said like 18% single target nerf, so it's gonna be a spicer. I still believe it's gonna be better than MM Hunter to be honest with you on single target. AoE though is probably gonna be like 5er. I would say probably even less than 5, but 5 here is actually quite generous, I must say. No cry, we're gonna play after that one. So BM is gonna be 6 on single target. 5 is gonna be on AoE, because after the nerfs, 5 should be like acceptable number.
Yeah.
Defensive 4 is fine. Playstyle and fun 2.5.
Yo. And same with Bear Tank, Warrior damage, a little bit less damage on Fellsguard's cooldowns. Druid of the Claw. Druid of the Claw procs Smart Thing primary target. That's a lot. Dreadful Wound, that's the dot from Ravage, 25%. That's a lot. Mangle now does 15% more damage instead of 10%. And Maul and Raise buffed by another 10%, which also adds to Ravage damage. And then this is the talent that makes you go into cat form. I don't think this talent will be good still in M+, Like, it's probably still gonna be the better damage choice, especially for prio damage, but you're never gonna use this in AoE, and it's just way too risky to use in M+. And it also costs way too many talent points in your base tree to pick up. Because if you play this, you're playing Rake, Rip, and that's 2 extra talent points taken in your class tree. So I don't think this is worth still, unless you're doing raid or, like, you know, if you really want the extra single target. I don't even know how much more it's gonna be, but there's no way this is worth right now. But the problem is they ended up nerfing the hell out of Elun's Chosen. So Moonfire, 2% less damage, and more importantly, Moonfire damage nerfed by 15%. Twin Moonfire damage decreased by 2%. These are some pretty big hits to Elun's Chosen. Guys, I think Moonbear might be dead. We might be Cat Bears now. Or maybe we're just some other tanks now. But yeah, so Bear got a 20% overall damage buff, and all the Moonfire stuff got nerfed pretty heavily. And so yeah, Brewmaster got the 15% damage buff too. Prop Paladin also got the 15% damage buff. And the final tank, Prop Warrior. Prop Warrior got fucking huge buffs. Now,
Okay.
I did say in my video that Prop Warrior is looking to be
Melee attack and all
tank
ability damage increased by
This is
30%
insane.
på Pro.
I've never seen a class get buffed by
Prot Warrior?
30% overall. 30% buff.
Overall,
Hvor mye sa du?
Buffed by
30.
25%.
Ah, fy faen.
50%.
På damage, execute damage increase 50, revenge increase 25, devastator 25, shield charge 25,
Kira is saying
Ravager,
it's around
25.
34%
Når kommer den da?
overall
På
damage
onsdag, eller?
buff. That's a big number.
Nei,
That's a lot. So if I was doing
ja,
like
det er,
now,
nei, det er
maybe-
beta-greiene.
I would say before I was even doing 30%
Yeah.
less than other tanks. Well, I mean, but it's relative, right? So
Det er bra, da.
15%
Mm.
damage buff. So
For jeg føler
relatively,
du må
Prot
jo,
Warrior
som
is
Prot
getting,
Warrior,
you know, about like twice
så
that
må
amount.
du ha
A little bit
damagen,
more than
ellers så
twice
blir det
that
for
amount.
dårlig, da.
But
For
still,
du
I
har,
think
du har
after
ikke så mye,
this,
du har
it'll
ikke,
still be like mostly
du
the
har
same, 'cause,
utility,
I
men
mean,
du har ikke de
we got the tank
mass
nerf
gripene
stuff,
og
the tank buster
anti-control
nerf
som
stuff,
det
Ja,
du
ja,
har
ja.
på.
and Prop Paladins
Så
Ok,
are
avhengig av
det er-
penger noe
as
annet.
much trouble.
Ja, mye damn.
Also, like, a lot of these nerfs
Mm.
are pretty big for Prot Warrior because they added a lot of blockable stuff like Voracious Bite. Alerting Shrill was doing insane damage too to Prot Warriors. I mean, overall, just like great changes. Just like everything about all these changes are great. But I still think, like, you know, the better tanks are just gonna be Druid still. Just you're probably gonna play Druid of the Claw instead of Moonbear. Demon Hunter is still looking very good because caster meta is still very OP. Oh, and also Augmentation. Augmentation Evoker is still OP, guys. I said in my video, playing these dungeons without Augmentation is rough, and it's still the case. I was talking to some Augs. It's looking like anywhere from like a 7 to 8% nerf to Augmentation, which is really not that much. Augmentation were extremely overtuned before this patch.
Jeg er ikke
It's still
dødt
gonna be
ennå, visstnok.
OP. It's still the only DPS spec in the game.
Hva sa
De
du,
mista
Rogue
bare,
der?
de mista bare i
that
7%
provides
overall.
defensive benefits to both your tank and your healer. And I mean, just to your entire party.
So that was
It's
a
just
must
way too
on last.
powerful of a spec. The only way you're not
Mhm.
gonna play AUG is if it gets nerfed by like another 30-40%. Like, you would have to hard kill Augmentation Evoker or completely
Jeg kommer til å
rework
bli
how they
så
work.
glad
Either
hvis de
one.
bare
They would have to do
dreper
either
den
one of
der
those two
range
changes
metaen
in
litt.
order
Fy
to make
faen så glad jeg blir
augmentation
hvis de
not
gjør det.
basically required.
Ja, det er
And I
range
don't
meta enda, så i
see
hvert fall.
those types of
Det er det.
changes happening, I'm gonna be honest. Especially this late into the beta cycle. Like, maybe next patch, we'll have to see. At what level is AUG mandatory? AUG is not mandatory by any means. It's just, it makes it so that if you're doing any challenging content, it'll make it significantly easier. That's all. It's all relative, right? You could be undergeared as hell, trying to attempt a +5 key. If you're in like in an undergeared group, just think of having an augmentation as if it was adding like, I'm just gonna give it an arbitrary number, like 20%, or not 20%, like 20 item levels to your character. Think about how strong a healer and a tank is with an extra 20 item levels. That's a lot. It makes it so that you can actually handle whatever that content is. Now, if you're like vastly overgeared, right? Like if you're already 630 item level going into a +10 key, you're probably completely fine. You don't need an augmentation evoker. But, you know, the higher you go in key levels, the more you're worrying about the mobs and bosses beating your entire group down, the more important an augmentation evoker will become. Yeah, so overall, it's very likely still going to be a caster meta. There were some mage changes too. Mages did get nerfed a bit, but you're probably still going to play them, I believe. Frost got mostly untouched. Ellie Shaman got absolutely murdered from what I saw. I'm going to say it here first. I think that for this expansion, there's going to be at least one Shaman spec that will be meta. That's what I think. I just think Shamans, they bring so much right now. and their buff is just so good. And they also are one of the most recently reworked classes, but that's my guess. My guess is that at least one of the shaman specs will be meta. Og won't die as long as the chats keep saying how important they are, because it trickles down to Gary doing +5 keys with an Og. Well, I mean, honestly, it's literally just me saying how important Ogs are. Like, I don't think anyone really ever talks about that type of stuff, realistically. And it's not like that many people even listen to me. In fact, most people call me a fucking idiot, at least from what I've seen in my YouTube comments. I love Og, yeah, it's just like, you know, here's what really happens. What really an augmentation. And then Delve Enjoyer. They snuck another Ellie Shaman.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Yoda. This will be my preliminary tier list for War Within Mythic Plus. We're now about a week in a pre-patch, so Mythic Plus is coming out in 1 to 2-ish months, but we've done a lot of testing on the beta. I've been getting a lot of questions on stream about what I think is strong, what is fun, what should my tank play, what should my healer play, what's a good choice, blah, blah, blah. So hopefully this helps answer a lot of those questions. We'll start at the top. Meta for sure. To no one's surprise, Augmentation Evoker and Mage for whatever seasons in a row are most likely going to meta again. For those unacquainted, Augmentation Evoker is basically a support spec, and it buffs everyone in the group, including the tank and healer, and that's kind of how it does damage. The DPS contribution in War Within is actually higher than most DPS specs, but that doesn't even matter because the main reason Augmentation Evoker is required in the highest keys is that your tank and healer are often going to be struggling as the key levels get higher. They have to handle harder and harder challenges, and Augmentation Evoker just makes them able to handle those challenges at 1 to 2 key levels higher. And, you know, in a game where the goal is to just do higher level keys, that's just way too strong to have in a DPS spec. So Augmentation Evoker is just in forever. Mage, similarly, buffs your healer by 5% with Arcane Intellect, and it buffs everyone else with all the other specs in your group, so including the Augmentation Evoker and probably your third DPS by 5%. So even when it does low damage, Mage is still kind of just in based on that.
Nå var det siste pre-patchen her, siste updaten kom av? Var det på onsdag?
Nei, det har kommet en etter det, tror jeg.
Riktig.
Lurer på om det kommer på torsdag, ja.
Vengeance and Protection Warrior.
Fury gets 5% more
I guess I can
DPS
speak
if you
about
scream
Vengeance first.
IRL.
Why do I think Vengeance is gonna be a good choice, which means like solid?
Jeg spilte litt Fury, ass, men jeg blir for sliten i hånda. Det er så jævlig med klasking på det tastaturet.
Don't you? Well, you're in luck because Flame and Marcillion are making a tier list on mains and alts, and nah.
Yeah, because it's going to be fully subjective since everybody has difficulties picking mains and alts, and we're gonna make it easier for you by you watching our opinions on our mains and alts separately for 2 separate tier lists. Revolutionary, a tier list within a tier list within a tier list video.
Yes, now let's start it off with Affliction Warlock. And this is one spec that has gone through a roller coaster ride. Well, I guess all Warlock specs got through roller coaster rides with changes, reverts, and then changes again, reworks. I think overall, for me, Affliction is still not hitting the mark just yet, so I'm gonna put it in nah. Again, we are looking at all the specs, guys. This doesn't mean that we hate any of these specs. Some of them we do. but we'll get to that in a second.
You can only main an alt so many specs,
Yes.
and for me, actually, it's going to be as an alt right now. Affliction is
You love
one
it.
of the winners.
You love it.
It's one of the winners of the Warlock class, actually the winner of the Warlock 3. Pretty much everybody's playing Affliction. It's great. I cannot wait to actually play it as an alt.
Beautiful. What's next then?
Well, next is actually our Patreon platform who are supporting the type of content that we do, and also our
podcast
4K wallpapers with your... You clicked it right, and now we can click on Arcane, because that's the next spec. I'm gonna let you say your piece on Arcane.
Man, I was watching you play Arcane, and it looks so juicy. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, like, yeah, because it's because of the damage. Because the damage, you want to be mad at damage. No, it just looks fun as hell. And I'm happy that it's more simplified. I believe Arcane in the past was a little bit too much.
Men var det bare DPS på den lista der, eller?
Contender for me as an alt. I always play a mage spec in every expansion,
I was going to
regardless.
recommend here to just try it as an alt just to see how it is. Yes. It's really good. Obviously, for me, it's one of my mains. Because they just did it back to it. But Assassination... next stop, a balanced druid.
Are you gonna make me talk about?
So it's just a to beast mastery. You want to go?
I've seen good things.
Not as much anymore.
Not as much. I know.
It's good for Hunter Sentinel, and BM is not a Sentinel. So for me, unfortunately, it's gonna be a nah until they revamp and make a Dark Ranger, the one that they're selling this whole hero talents with, an actual good hero talent tree.
For sure. All right, what's next?
Blood Death Knight.
Okay, Blood Death Knight. So this is like one of like. So I played Prot Paladin. I played a little bit Prot Warrior. I played Vengeance Demon Hunter. I played Bear. Yes. And for the first time in my life, I played Blood Death Knight in Dragonflight, and I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I've played. Well, I haven't played with them. I just tested on Target Dummy on the beta, and I kind of love it. This is I'm not a main tank, but if the situation were to occur, what I would be asked to be a main tank, Blood would be my go-to. So you can put it in main for me.
Oh, main. Oh, damn. That's really great.
But only in the situation that I would be asked for. So, okay, we need a tank. You're the only one we got.
It's right there. I mean, the main might, we're going to get to that eventually. Blood for me is going to be a definite alt. Even after...
Jeg liker ikke helt hvordan han sier, hvordan han velger å breake ned damagen på alle klassene, da. Er veldig mye høyt på range-klasser fremdeles, da. Bare sånn generelt. Det liksom the POV damage, ifølge han, så det jo Destrolok.
Blood is one of those tanks that I feel is like the gameplay is so rewarding in the sense that they're so dependent on yourself.
Alle mage-spekkene er greie. Afflilok, Elemental Shaman, Evoker.
Now more than ever.
Yeah, I just love a super sustaining tank, right?
Yeah,
like if it's on me to keep myself alive, like all of the time, I kind of love it.
It gives you a sense of authority over yourself. Okay, Brewmaster Monk.
Brewmaster Monk, oh man, I'm so scared of this spec. Whenever I look at it and whenever I see all of the, because this is the thing, you have specs that have button bloats, quote unquote, right? But Brewmaster always kind of made use out of all of them. And for me, it's like, okay, I love a complex spec, and usually I look for that in a DPS or whatever. But when it comes to tanking, it's a whole other different responsibility. So for me, it's going to be a nah, because I'm scared of it.
Okay, for me, it's definitely going to be an alt. They've definitely toned down the bloat that I did not like about Brewmaster with Rushing Jade Wind. Thank God. It's missing a bunch of stuff. It's not obviously not going to be a main, but I'm going to be enjoying Brewmaster a lot in the War Within.
Beautiful. Next.
Demonology Warlock.
Well, again, this is the first Warlock spec I would consider to be an alt, because listen, for the longest time I've neglected this spec, and I am just in love with the theme of it, like just summoning demons all around. It's not that...
For sure. Prot Warrior.
Oh man, I loved Prot Warrior when I tried it out. And you were absolutely right. It's this like the primordial tank. Like if you want to understand how tanking works, you play Prot Warrior and you get it. It felt right when I played it in Dragonflight for as small time as I did. But I'm not that sure about it in the War Within. I know you played a lot more, but judging by how they wanted to rework the warriors, and I wasn't really that convinced with the hero talents as of late, I'm not sure. Even if it's really good, even if it's really good, For me, Warrior is not something that will be on the table for now, because for me, my journey on Warrior starts with Arms, and if Arms is not where I want it to be, then the other two specs are not gonna make it. So put it in now for me.
Okay, similar for me as well. I really want to alt it. I'm actually gonna put it into alt just because I'm always gonna be playing a Warrior, and it's probably like the only Warrior spec that I will be enjoying. The problem is that they didn't change anything. I feel like it's on the cusp of receiving a rework as well, because it's the same spec that played throughout the entirety of Dragonfly with the exact same talents, the exact same things you take. They're changing a lot of the things for Pro Warrior, and it's likely going to be kind of similar to Enhancement, where you might see a proper rework, because without a proper rework, there's nothing you can do really to Pro Warrior to change it, to make it feel fresh. And the hero talents are not that bad, but when you have Shaman, when you have Mage, when you have DK,
so many
it's a little bit behind. Tanks are gonna be pretty high for me, just because they're tanks. So that's probably why it's making it into alt. Otherwise, it'll probably be a nah. Because give me some new, man. Come on, it's been 4 years.
For sure. What's up?
Speaking of tanks, Pro Paladin.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, put it up there. Put it up there, because
How high do you want it?
How high? But it's pretty high on the list.
I'll put it next to alt.
Pretty high on the list. Prot Paladin was always Paladin as a whole, except Holy, was always a great option, and I feel Prot Paladin is still one of the better tanks to play. It still retains that Swiss Army knife feeling, like you have some response for any situation, which I still love about it, by the way. The damage is there, healing is nerfed, but I still feel it's gonna do really good. So I cannot really put it anywhere or not put it into an alt, because Avenger Shield always for life.
Yeah, Pro Paladin is my absolute favorite tank to play in the War Within. Is going to go all the way to the top of my alt tree, just behind Shaman, just next to Holy Paladin. I mean, Shaman and Paladin are interchangeable. I don't view one more than the other. It's definitely going to be my second or third alt that I level for sure. Even if they're trying so hard to kill Pro Paladin right now, I still feel like it just does the fantasy right. If you like the like you said, it's the primordial version of Warrior. It's not as primordial, but it's more fun. It's like the next
flashy.
step. The next step. You have a shield, you put your shield up, you take reduced damage from spells, you protect your party. This is you want to be a shield tank, but you can also protect your party, pick the Pro Paladin. Plus, gameplay wise, it's the most fun tank to play.
Very juicy, very rewarding.
I feel like it's just a victim of bad design, and that says a lot, that even with the bad design,
you still love it.
So good. That's probably why it's all the way up here.
Yeah.
Resto Shaman.
Oh boy, Resto Shaman. I won't have time for it. So again, same argument. If I'm going to play Shaman spec, it's going to be Elemental. And due to all of the specs currently, well, at some point, I'm probably going to give it a shot, since I haven't played Resto Shaman in years. But currently, I'm putting it into now, just due to the Elemental option.
Similar discussion to the Paladin and the Shaman is going to be up the top of my alt tree, because I actually enjoyed the changes to Restoration Shaman. It's the best Shaman rework. Probably it's up there with Elemental. They're doing really great things. They're making a simple heal spec be simple and still be great and have some underlying depth to it. That's how you make simple fun and not make it, like you said, mind rotting like Frost Decay.
Yeah, brain rotting.
Brain rotting.
Mind rotting is, I think about mind freezing, but that's for Mage. We're going all over the places here, man.
Shaman is definitely one of the winner classes in the War Within for me, so it's gonna be up there.
What's next then?
Resto Druid.
Resto Druid. Oh boy, yeah, definitely an alt, because I always love healing on Resto Druid. I know I had a bad time in the War Within, but it got recently it's gotten better for sure. Again, it's a very similar.
On this week's episode.
Nå skal jeg den over på... Hva faen er...
Back.
Jo. Skal vi gå over da?
Ja, du gjør det. Ja.
That's insane.
Stay close. I can't hear you if you stray.
When are they gonna make a supercar my size?
Science holds the key to understanding. Fight saver.
Faen, altså, jeg skal møte en kompis nå. Jeg håper han er klar for å spise burger eller noe, for jeg kjenner meg jævlig klar for burger.
Klar for burger, ja?
Ah. Det er faen det beste som finnes dagen derpå, altså.
Ja.
Det og sjokolademelk, ikke sammen mellom merke, men de to tingene, det er... Fy faen, tenk deg den komboen, han hørtes ekkelt ut, altså.
We really need to stop that payload. Charging through.
ass. For den var faen meg insane.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Payload's moving, and I don't like that.
Det var bedre.
Over here, roll up. Still not dead.
We will crush them. Right by you. I'm even stronger. Do your work.
Så morsomt å se på boken bare ligge helt i bunnen der og sånn.
Ja, ja.
Han, jeg er så dårlig på beta.
Altså, det er ikke noe heals her.
Let's put that pain to use.
I'm back.
Jeg kan
Time
ikke
to
spille så
crush.
passivt.
I'm the cleaner. Heat check. Affirmative.
my performance. Go. More trust. Crush their progress.
Hvor? Der, ja.
Protecting you. Barrier in place. Keep it coming. Enemies here. Do your work.
Nei! Ingen som dytter payload. No one's on the payload, dude.
Hello. Now see what I can do. You're covered.
Enemy turret. Oh yeah.
No.
I'm overloading.
Energy protocols calibrated. Graviton surge is ready. Go, my friend. Throw their fire. Protecting you. Огонь по готовности. Огонь по готовности. It is not over yet.
60 seconds remaining.
turret ahead. Hands ahead. The payload is moving. Hold their progress. This ends now. Gathering energy. I'm actually on fire. Enemy
Ah, dude. Okay.
Hold their fire. Stop them in their tracks. وريهم قوتك. Victory.
Enemy turret
ahead. Fire in place. I'm standing up. Enemy the enemy is not done yet. Lock out into pitch. Maximum
Switching sides.
We will crush them.
Everyone, stick together. We can do this.
Safety's up. Cruel world.
Planet is not going to save itself.
Greetings.
Hello.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Escort the payload.
Moving the payload. Let's go. Fire in place. Ready for action.
Oh, I'm dead. Ah!
Ikke bra, vet du. Det er sånn her, det fortsetter med den jævla augen, vet du. Hørte du hva han sa nå?
Nei, jeg sitter og spiller over, så.
Han er 90% sikker på at det går til å bli helt mandatory å ha med seg en evoker på high keys. Jeg er ikke fan, altså.
More.
Hello there.
De må slutte med det jævla tullet sitt. Man bare tvinge grupper til å bare... Det er jo derfor vi ikke får invites.
Yep.
Nei, fy faen, altså. Jeg bare krysser fingrene. Shaman Paladin, bare en av de må bli metas. Det hadde vært deilig.
Det var deilig.
Det blir interessant å begynne å raide heal igjen, da.
Ja, du har snakket med Omid om det, eller? Ja.
Samme spill akkurat hva du vil. Akkurat hva du vil.
Det blir bra. Mister main bitch boomien vår nå, da.
Gjør visst det.
Det er litt sært, da.
Ja, han var ikke drithappy, men som han sa...
Ja, men jeg kan gå guardian, da er jeg. Raid, liksom.
Ja, det er klart, jeg kommer ikke til å spille druid, så vi kommer til å trenge en druid.
Ja. Det er ingen av de som pusher payload, men bro.
Nei, men jeg må løpe her, så vi er ferdig med vårt problem.
Snakkes du?
Kos deg.
Escort the payload. I'm on fire! Is Evie watching?
That warms the bones.
GG, boys.
C'est pas tout le monde qui a échappé.
Aïe, aïe, aïe.
Play of the game.
Gärna.
Prepare for battle. Select your hero. Only in unity will we find strength. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
I'll see this through, no matter what.
Step back.
Very at night.
Stand aside. They will not break through.
¡Quemo como el sol!
Band together.
Group up.
Join me.
You call it?
Damage output increased. Reaching my more. Double A initiated.
Okay.
A cure for all the tales.
Time to save the world? Game on! Nothing gets past me! Initiating defense matrix! World number! Watch yourself! I'm on fire! Past me! Systems running hot! Utilizing projectile! I'm out!
I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Best round.
I'm not good enough. Feels bad.
I'm not giving up!
Score 0-1.
We will crush them.
I'll see this matter resolved.
Hola.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
They can't hurt you.
You even need more power.
Clear words. Gathering energy. I'm even stronger. Barrier in place. I'm on fire.
Ah! Overextended. Fuck my life. Why am I being so bad? Why am I so bad?
A fox is not taken twice in the same snare.
Got an enemy here. Purge the enemy from I'm untouchable.
Your best is not above.
Ready to activate the EMP.
Da, ya, dare. We've got trouble. Frustrated? Good. Use it. Do your work. Good try. Particle interdiction. Now see what I can do. Gales on the hole.
I'm dead.
My armaments are ready.
Round 2, 1. Score 1-1.
I'm hoping for an easy mission. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Stay close. I can't heal you if you stray.
Hello.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 3. Capture the objective.
Bring me energy. Double team first. Rest easy, old friend.
The objective
Fire in place.
Ah, fuck.
Try me. Now see what I can do. I'm on fire. Everyone follow me. Do your work. Particle intervention. I feel the burn. Double fire. Powerful. Instant revival. Frustrated? Good. Use it.
Let's give them medicine.
Fire in place.
Helden sterben nicht.
Ah, fuck.
Going for a group up here. My ultimate is ready. Join me. Surrender to my will.
EMP activated.
Hold their fire. Огонь по готовности. The enemy still wants more. Gathering energy. My willpower is burning.
I'm at the height of my performance.
Group up with me.